Welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz, LoveTalk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. I am delighted to have Rebecca GoodHeart back. Hello, my dear.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Oh, we are so great. It is, we are glad the sun is out and we are rocking and rolling in Edgerton Park.
I know. And Richard the Third. Da, da, da,
Richard the
da.
Third.
And y'all are doing some amazing gender, I don't know, fast and loose with gender with these with the conversations, and now Richard the Third has a woman in the lead. Is that
That's
right?
it.
Okay.
That's it. Well, it is Lisa Volpe is one of the most amazing actors I've ever had the privilege of working with. She flew in from Prague to play this role. She and I have been talking about it for a couple of years, and it's the third time she's played it, and she is on fire. She's just on fire. She is. It's so great, and so yeah, we're really excited that and we have a couple other women playing men and women playing women, and so we are, it's all mixed up in the best possible ways.
And so when does Richard the Third kick off?
So Richard III kicks off this Friday is our opening. We have a preview on Thursday. If people want to sneak in, have a sneak preview, we will be performing it just like normal. But all that means is that we still can have a rehearsal the following day. And there's our poster. I love
Yes.
that. And we are so first audience is on Thursday at 7:30 in Edgerton Park, and then we play start open Friday, and play through September 2nd, every day but Monday.
Okay. All right. So how do you feel about this particular version of Richard the Third?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I mean, it is a huge play, do you know? And we are, because of what Elm does, it is a 2-hour version, about 2 hour and 5 minutes. And so what I didn't really expect was by keeping it short, it just moves, right? And so you feel like you're on this amazing roller coaster ride. What we've done is taken out all of the, sort of dead air in the play. And so we have added, I don't think it will not begin the way people expect it to begin. We have added a prologue that sort of gets everybody up to speed with, sort of a recap of the War of the Roses, because there's a lot of killing, there's a lot of swordplay. There's been 35 years of war at the beginning of this play, and it's something Shakespeare's audiences would have known. When Richard starts off with "Now is the winter of our discontent," people know what that winter of discontent was historically. Our audiences may or may not, and it isn't really important. It just isn't. But it is helpful. So we start off with a big series of battles and lots of broadswords and clashing of metal, and then get kicked in. So it's going to be I love it. It's really fun, and we are accentuating, while Lisa's playing the role as a man, we are accentuating the women's role in both the stories and the production. That there are 4 women in the play, and if I'm honest, I think in some ways their story and their journey through the story and how they defeat Richard is really the reason I'm most impassioned about doing the production. So I'm excited. Lots of exciting.
And so are you directing? Who's directing?
I'm directing this year.
Oh, so you got your hands on this one.
I do have my hands on this one, from the cutting of the script all the way through the design and yeah, the adaptation is really something. We have 16 actors playing 56 roles
Oh my
in the
goodness.
play, and we're doing it, of course, on our Playhouse stage, which is just beautiful. So it is really, in terms of design, it is the costume designer's production. The costumes are just absolutely fabulous. Rebecca Wells has outdone herself. There's all these. This is the first time in my tenure that we've done things, period. So we've got the
Really?
dresses.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we have always done some kind of a modern interpretation, whether it be 1918 was Love's Labor's Lost. We did a Dr. Seuss comedy of errors. There was we were in sort of almost a post-apocalyptic Romeo and Juliet. Last year was completely modern, and so this year we're in the late 14, early 1500s, and so we've got the dresses and the sleeves and the headdresses and the armor and the so beautiful. It's
Hmm.
really stunningly beautiful.
So Rebecca, when y'all decide to do because it's Elm Shakespeare, so when you decide to do it, who decides? How do y'all decide what you're gonna do for the season?
Well, picking the play is my
Yes.
choice. Well, it's
Okay.
not my choice. It is the company's choice. I'm the one that ostensibly picks it, but it is in dialogue with our company. It's in dialogue with our board of directors. But it's me listening to what sort of the zeitgeist of the moment is, what would serve our community, what would serve our company, mostly what would serve our community, and it also comes as a continuum, right? We serve all of New Haven, and that means New Haven has many varied tastes and interests and viewpoints. And so, we've been doing sort of the broad comedies for the last several years, and we haven't done a history in a very long time, and we haven't done a tragedy in a very long time. And we were getting some feedback from our community that was something that was missed. And so that is a piece of the puzzle. It is also, I'm not going to lie, an election year. And I think, not that we are making any sort of a political statement, but it is an allegory for how that violence breeds violence,
Mm-hmm.
and that it can get out of control.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we, with a very contentious world, where everyone is sort of at each other's and lots of different sides, how we can get through that and find, I won't say reconciliation, perhaps reckoning is the better word, but how we put an end to the violence, and how do we find our way back to common ground and unity. And this play, believe it or not, does give us that opportunity. So
Oh, I love it.
yeah, so it's threading a lot of different things.
So do you ever say, I know we did this play 5 years ago, but I like to run at it again in a different way. Do you ever have those kinds of conversations and moments?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. There's only 36 plays, right? Um, and I doubt that we're going to be doing Timon of Athens anytime soon. So, and in the big outdoor drama, there's conventional wisdom in the Shakespeare community. There's about 6 plays that are done consistently on the big outdoor stages. You've got Midsummer Night's Dream, As You
Mhm.
Like It, those big luscious comedies, often The Tempest, things that have a lot of nature in them. And we're very lucky because our audiences will follow us, and we can do lots. We don't just have to do those 6, but even so, it comes around. We have done Richard III once before. It was before my time. It was in the late, just around 2000 or so.
Mhm.
And so yeah, we do come back, and there are questions like, can we bring that one back yet? I try not to. We try not to repeat more than like 6, 7 years. you know?
Okay, okay. Because I would imagine Shakespeare lends itself to all kinds of interpretation. I mean, you have the script and you know it, but you could give all kinds of you could do all kinds of send-ups of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and the world is different, right? These all of these stories are allegories. That's what theater is. It's symbolic storytelling. And so because the world has changed, the plays change. I have been involved either as an actor, director, or producer for 26 productions of Midsummer Night's Dream. I've done the play 26 times and I never get tired of it, right? I've done, this is my third Richard III. I've done 4 or 5 Much Ado's, and every time, and it's actually the delicious challenge as an artist is to come back to these plays and think, how does that hit me now? What is the story now? And I think we also have because we so often cut the plays, right? We almost no Shakespeare production is doing every word that's on the page, right? Because they just get cut. Our audiences have a different attention span and our world is different. Um, so in cutting it, you're actually creating the story you're telling, right? What do you keep? What do you lose? And that shifts it just a little bit. So yeah, I like that. I enjoy that a lot.
I love it. I think Shakespeare plays do well in parks. I
Of
think
course.
I think
They
they're
do.
made for parks. I don't know. Is that true?
Well, they were performed outdoors originally. They were in an outdoor playhouse um, originally. I think that the other thing is that the Elizabethans were far more in contact, right? The paradigm with which Shakespeare's audiences lived and in which Shakespeare was writing was connected to that which is below, whether that be hell or the earth, that which is above, whether that be heaven or the skies. And so there's a verticality in the imagery, in the sensibility that and then it's about we who inhabit the middle. We are the humanity, and that we stand between heaven and hell, between the skies and the earth. And so being outside, I think, holds and lifts up that sensibility and certainly the images in the plays. So yeah, I mean, there's a dramaturgical reason, but it's also they're wonderful stories. And I think one of the best traditions that we have in this country is Shakespeare in the Park has become a tradition, whether it be in our community or communities around the country. It's so much fun on my Facebook feed. I'm connected to many other artists and many other theaters, and we are very late, right? We end Labor Day. So I'm watching all the productions. Everybody opens before we do, you know? and so I'm always like, oh, come on, I want to play. I want to play. And but it's lovely. So around the country right now, like it is I think it's a plumb line, it's a through line, it's a place where we can come together as communities, but as a country, that everybody at the end of the summer or in the summer get a picnic, bring your children, sit next to your neighbors, see these stories, sing, dance, laugh, cry. Yeah, they're great in the park. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I love the fact that, you sit next to people, maybe you don't know them, and then you get to know them. At least that's been my experience. And
Yeah.
you don't know them, but then you know them because you're talking and you're all laughing at the same time and we're like gasping at the same time or like, did you see that? I saw that. Wow. Is that we're interacting while
Yeah.
watching this wonderful piece of theater.
Yeah, well, and you have your little, like you have your little territory, you have your blanket, right? And
Yeah.
that's your, but you're right next to another little territory, and there's so many people, and you're right. I think it is that shared experience, and it isn't even if you don't speak to the people next to you, although most people, you're like, oh, hey, how are you? Or again, you're laughing next to them, you're gasping, you're enjoying the story. It's you're sharing space. and it's such a beautiful space. Edgerton Park is just so lovely. You know, it rained all last week. Don't know if you noticed. And so we were in the park all last week in the rain, but then the sun came out, and the sun came, and it just made it, oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah. And you guys done some work in that park on your theater space out there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We
Yeah.
build that. Thank you, Alexander Clark. We were able to build our Playhouse stage, which is now, people might think of it as a set. It's not permanent, it's portable. We bring it and we take it down every year, but it is a two-story, almost three-story structure because it sits on a platform. And it's a really solid, beautiful space that is, it's art structurally, it's very similar to the space that Shakespeare, all of Shakespeare's plays were written for, but aesthetically it fits in the park, and it isn't oldie timey, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful, and when you come upon it, you really feel like you've discovered something.
Yeah, it
That's
sits
how I
back in that
feel.
little corner,
Yeah.
and you come up over that hill and you think, oh, what is that? And and it was designed specifically for Edgerton Park so that it fits and feels a part of the park.
So the last time you were here, Rebecca, you were doing Women of Shakespeare. I think that's what it was
Yes.
called. I
Women of
didn't
Will,
come, the Women
yes.
of Will, and I didn't catch the performance, but I heard amazing things about it. Like I can't tell you how many people were like, you missed something special. I was like, I know. So after the fact, after you've had time to process and think about it, I mean, what are your thoughts? How did it go? How did you feel?
Oh, it was so wonderful. Been quite a while since I'd been on stage. And I'll tell you, you know what, Babs? I had forgotten. I'd forgotten what it feels like. I'd forgotten just the sheer energy that just comes through you. And the special what that is to share that with an audience, and to have the audience give to you. And it was, and I will say, doing all those women, playing all those women, some of whom are quite, different from me, that it changes you. And I think I really have, there's a particularly playing Margaret, Queen Margaret has, it's it's given me a grounding in a way that I don't know that I had. It's given me an ability, perhaps, I found my inner queen. uh, and an inner ferociousness that I don't know that I'd accessed. And there are residual effects, and of course, Juliet, who doesn't love playing Juliet? It's, just having that much love coursing through your body. And it's great. My acting partner, Nigel Gore, who is, he's just wonderful, so wonderful. And he's come back and he's in Richard III. So
Oh, okay.
we get to see each other. We're playing. It's been fun to play in a very different way, to go back to my comfort zone lately, which is directing. And so to have that relationship with Nigel has been lots of fun too.
Oh, I love that. I love it. I love it. Okay, so the play starts on Friday and it runs
Uh-huh.
through September 3rd,
Through Sunday, September 1st.
September 1st. Okay. And pick a night and people could go
Pick a night. It's
and
7:30. The music starts at 7:30. We've got our Greg Phelps is our music director, and he comes to us from American Shakespeare Center and all over. But he was there for many seasons, and the whole cast is involved in our pre-show music this year. And it's just, I won't spoil it. You have to listen to the thematic, right? So everything ties into the third in some way, and sometimes in very, very, very funny ways. Do you know,
I
we
love it.
we we always try to have our tongue firmly planted in our cheeks,
So
for the music selections. And that starts at 7:30, and then the play will start at 8.
I love it. So Rebecca, is there awards for Shakespeare in the Park plays? Because I know that just about every state has some kind of Shakespearean theater company.
Yeah. Well, there is an organization that we all belong to, Shakespeare Theater Association. I sit on the board of that organization, and that's 200 Shakespeare theaters that focus primarily on Shakespeare from around the world. And we get together throughout the year, and there are awards. There's the Sidney Berger Award. He was one of the founders of Shakespeare Theater Association. And that's actually it's a lifetime achievement. Oh, it's for outstanding. There are two. There's the Dan Cook, which is lifetime achievement for an artistic director, and then there is a outstanding artistic achievement. So that's one awards, and then we do belong to the Connecticut Critics Circle.
Oh,
It's
yes, yes.
it's tricky because of the way it's structured, because we only do one play a year, because it's a relatively tight time frame. Sometimes we don't always get into the mix to be reviewed or to be considered for that. But and then of course there's a Broadway world, and we have won best professional performance of the year for in the Broadway World Awards. That was for Romeo and Juliet a little while ago. Our mutual friend Raphael Massey directed that,
Oh,
and so there are some awards. We would love for the Connecticut Critics Circle to come out and consider us for the
because y'all do
honors.
such great work. It ought to
Thank
be
you.
recognized with awards.
I couldn't agree more, Babz. I couldn't agree more. And that's very kind of you to say. Thank you.
Oh no, I'm a fan. So, and you've got a gala coming up.
We got a gala coming up. We do indeed. That's in September, and our new development director, Alice Ann Harwood, is doing amazing. The whole theme of that is tapestry, and how we as a community weave stories together and weave our lives together, and come together in many different ways. And it's going to be a gala unlike we've ever done before. There's going to be lots of different things. It's almost like a create your own adventure as you come into the gala. There's going to be lots of different things that you can do. I think we may even have an active loom on site, and there's going to be lots of things that you can get your picture taken at, and you can participate. There's going to be performances all throughout, the little mini performances all throughout the night. It is specifically honoring Barbara Schaefer, who was our longtime development director and my partner in crime, and she was there with us for over 25 years. And she retired in this January, and we miss her terribly. We love her so much, and she is an icon of our community. She sits on the Arts Commission, and so we are honoring Barbara, and it would be a great way to make sure Barbara knows that she is loved and honored and missed, and support her to come to the gala and cheer her on. So we're looking forward to that.
Oh, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. I am really looking forward to it. Okay, so Richard the Third.
Everyone's
Um,
favorite villain.
yes, that is yes, yes. Everybody's. And so, tell me about the actor that's playing. Tell me about her.
Oh, well, Lisa Volpe she is an international acclaimed, not only actor, director, and activist. She works for LGBTQIA rights. She has made one of the big turning points of her career is that she does gender reversed casting and gender fluid casting, and goes around the world talking about and teaching and directing students and actors in how to do it and what does it mean. I have known her since I was 23 years old, and I will not say how many years ago that was, longer than 5, let's say that. And she was literally one of my first text teachers as a young actor, and she is just remarkable. She adapts things. She directs. Of course, she was here in the spring with her one-woman show, Shakespeare and the Alchemy of Gender, which is about her journey, reconciling herself with her own personal history as a Jewish woman, the child of Holocaust survivors, both of whom killed themselves after the war, and how finding gender fluid performance actually gives her strength and helps her come to that reconciliation of her own personal past. It's an incredibly powerful piece of theater. We did that at the Schwartzman in the spring. And now she's coming and taking on, she loves playing villains. And she is the kindest, nicest, most generous human being with the cutest little dog, Peanut, you've ever seen. And yet she plays the best villains. And her Richard, though, I'm fascinated. There's this, Richard can become almost, mustache twirling villain, and hers is really human. There's a lot of conversation about whether a disabled actor should play Richard. That Richard III is, the hunchbacked. He's called. That's always that I do that because that is sort of the stereotypical,
Mhm.
long time portrayal, and there is text to it. He says, you can't ignore the text that does refer to himself as having some kind of a deformity. We've chosen that his deformity is primarily in his soul and in
Mm.
his mind, and that it is certainly not a deformity that is the cause of his problems. It is a violent society, and it's like I said, a broken soul. Um, uh, so she is doing just remarkable work, portraying this broken man. And he's broken in really interesting ways. He is at home in chaos, and he is at home at war. And when peace comes, he doesn't know what to do. And so he creates a world in which he can thrive and in which he has power. And that is a world of chaos. It's a world of violence. He kills anybody that gets in his way. And there's a really interesting thing about the play that at the beginning, we love watching the villain Richard, right? It's like, ooh, what's he gonna do? And then he starts killing people, and he starts killing more and more people, and he ends up killing the young princes. They're not even teenagers, they're children in the tower. And from that point on, the audience can't follow him, and the audience doesn't like him, and we're glad when he dies at the end of the play. The thing that's interesting about Lisa's portrayal is that part of this journey, he woos Anne, Warwick's daughter, who is a widow of the previous administration. And, he says, what? Though I killed her husband and her father, the better way is to make the best way to make the wench amends is to become her husband, right? And so while she's literally at her father-in-law's funeral, he woos her and gets her to marry him. And this is often portrayed as villain, right? And Lisa, you really get the sense that he loves her. And this is sort of a chance that she would never, that it's on sheer charisma. And there's a line after he goes, was ever woman in this humor wooed? Was ever woman in this humor won? I'll have her, but I will not keep her long. And he does end up killing her too, and eventually. But what's interesting is that Lisa, instead of like, I will not keep her long, there's no way she'll stay in love with me. There's no way I'll be able to keep her. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's delicious and nuanced and beautiful and heartbreaking. I find Lisa's Richard heartbreaking, as opposed to and of course, we love he's still planning and playing with the audience and saying what he's going to do next. But I think her Richard is one of the most stunning things I've seen on stage in a very long time.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. That's my ticket right there. That's my ticket. So, do you think you'll get back on the stage before,
I
before
want to.
much
I
longer?
want to. I mean, it is tricky. Here's what I won't ever do. And of course, don't I shouldn't say that because as soon as you say it, it means that's what you end up having to do. But I have no intention and no desire, and I will try not to ever direct and act at the same time. I don't know how people do it. It would be beyond me. It is hard enough being the producing artistic director and directing because it's sort of like, can I have a monkey? No, right? You have to curb your own impulses. But I would very much like to get back on stage, and I don't know if it'll be next year. Next year is our 30th anniversary, so we're going to have a year of celebrations and parties, and so I expect that I'll probably direct next year. But Women of Will isn't going away. We've had interest from several other theaters around the country that would like it to come, and we may go do it there, and which means it'll still be live and fresh, and maybe we can bring it back here again for little short runs if we have a space. But I would very much. I have a bucket list of characters I'd like to play. So I hope so. I very much hope so.
Okay, I like it. I think you should get back out there and don't let it be too long and let somebody else direct you and just you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, right? So that you don't have to like be in wear two hats. Although who are you if you don't wear two hats? So there you go.
Oh, yeah, at least two.
At least
two.
two.
You got to get three before you're really juggling, right? You know that. You're one of the busiest women in New Haven. Everywhere you turn, there's Babz.
Listen. Yes.
You have more hats than anyone can count.
Oh, yes. It's a fun town. It's a fun town.
It is a fun town.
It's a fun town. Like I don't want stuff to get past me, so I try to go to everything because it's a good time.
Yeah.
That's a
well, and
mark of a
I'm
good
hoping,
city.
I'm really looking forward to finally, after years, we bought our own home, and I am now an official homeowning resident of Whitneyville and Hamden, and so I will be here more and more. So I hope to get to play and do more in the community because there are parties everywhere.
There are.
I'm inspired by your front porch. I see those pictures of your front porch.
Oh, we have such a good time. You are welcome to come anytime, Rebecca.
Oh,
you just up the way, so just slide on down and
I got to slide on down.
That's all you have to do. So thank you for your time this morning. It's really nice to see you. I'm looking forward to Richard III. I'm looking forward to the gala in September. Y'all are doing all right.
We're doing great. It's a really wonderful time at Shakespeare, and the education programs keep going. We've got teen troops starting in the fall in September.
Yay!
We're doing our second youth festival in December.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we are rocking and rolling.
Oh, I love that young people are embracing Shakespeare.
Yeah, I think they do it. They embrace it, and it lives in their bones even easier than it
I'll
lives
be
in
back
ours.
at 10:15 with yeah, that's just Harry.
Okay. I will. All right,
thank you
for having me.
My pleasure. And thank you, Carla Esdale, who worked today, strolled through. Is always some technical difficulty.
We got a little technical thing. I thought I had gone on too long, and you were playing me off.
No, listen. With all the technology that we have in the world, we still get glitches.
It's amazing. Anything happened. I couldn't do it. So
he's like, sorry. No worries. We understand.
All good.
So thank you, Rebecca. I will see you soon.
We will see you soon. See you in the park.
Yes, see you in the park. I will see you in the park. All right,
Wonderful.
my dear. Thank you.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of this week.
I will.
All right.
Bye now.
Thank you. Okay, Harry, play us off now. I'll take care, Rebecca. Bye, Harry. Thank you.
Love.